All right, here we are. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Hope you're doing well today. Welcome to Maverick Workshop. Going to be turning some Bridgerton diamond painting pins. I'm almost done. I've only got a few left. They are turning out very nicely. We've got kind of a mint green purple and then a transparent color in the middle with some flowers. We'll get a closer look at them here when I switch the cam over, but they're looking really nice, and yeah, might as well just get right to it. Get to turning. Yeah. Boom. All right. There we go. Latest let's get that is at the bottom. All right. Pretty good flow through there. Good. All right. Get that pulled up on my. Uh-oh. Gotta go grab my iPad so I can see chat while I'm over there turning. Gotta grab my iPad. What's up, Buttercup? All right. All right, and we're back. Turn that off. Get this set. Boom. Boom. Here we are. Volume down. Good. Get that. Boom. Ha! Woo! Marianne, hey, how you doing? I've been doing all right. How about you? Man, there's been a lot. It's been a lot. Suppose we can rap about it for a minute while you're here, I guess. Abby's office is on the other side of this wall. But yeah, so did you it's definitely been over a week since my last stream. But yeah, it's been busy. It's been busy times. My nephew had a birthday. I went and talked to a fire department, sent in an application, and then got a message the other day that they were interested in taking me for a test drive to see how it goes. So I'll try out in a couple weeks. Let's see. Now I've been working on like nib holders, a couple different designs of different things. Also the handbook thing that I'm going to be working on, or that I've been working on, is getting close. So, and that's one of the things that I was going to ask and kind of see what the vibe was as far as how did you just want to, like, there's a couple ways that I was thinking about actually delivering that type of information, like the turning stuff. I don't know if it should be more. Hi. Come here. Okay. We'll switch cams real quick. But those are the Bridgerton ones that we're using. Let's see. I've been thinking about a couple different methods of doing so. Would it be preferred to do it as a live or video? And then the handbook will be a part of that. It'll be a 30-day handbook kind of thing that when you, it'll basically be empty with you know, kind of like bullet points that you'll just kind of put in information based on like the video. So it'll be kind of an engaging kind of way to go about it. And then I was also thinking about doing it in a way that will make it so if I put this document, like the handbook kind of thing, on like a Google Drive, then I'll be able to like constantly update it. Oh, stop! You're gonna break it. It's already messed up. But yeah. Yeah, so the handbook will be like it'll be a 30-day checklist kind of thing. And we'll have 3 different topics per day that we'll go over, and then moving on from there.
You needing me?
Oh yeah. Did you want to talk about the Cali show?
I already did. But I can talk about it later. How long ago now?
Just a week and a half.
3
You got
weeks
back.
ago? No.
What?
It's like over 3 weeks ago now.
Oh geez.
I'm pretty sure. It was awesome. I had a great trip. It was the longest flight ever, or at least what it felt like. Might have been the longest flight I've ever been on. That was mostly because we got delayed here in Charlotte, and then also got delayed getting off the plane in Los Angeles. So it was the California Pin Show. It's the Southern California show that they do. It is, I don't know, it was like 30 minutes away from the LA airport. It was in Redondo Beach. Really nice Marriott hotel was where it was. And it was a great show for me. It was my first show going where it was just me alone at a table. I've been to 2 other shows, 3? No. 2 other shows prior to that where John didn't go with me, but I was sharing a table with somebody both times. So this is the first time having like nobody with me at all at my table, which has it happened like of where the tables were set. There were 2 ballrooms and like a smaller one and then the large ballroom. So, and apparently the smaller one was the one that they added this year. It is the first room that people had to walk through to get to the other ballroom. But what we watched people do when they opened the doors was run through the first ballroom and not look at anything and literally go like straight through to the bigger ballroom. And I didn't know anybody in that whole ballroom. Like nobody. Not there. I was the only bespoke, you know, pin maker seller there. The rest of them are all in the big ballroom. So I didn't have any of my friends with me, but it's okay. I made friends with the people on either side of me, which was, they were fantastic. I had a great time with them. Yeah, but I basically, from the time like doors opened, which I think was 9 or 10 most days, I can't remember which, and no, it was definitely 9. So like 8:45 till 5, I didn't get up from my table, like at all. I think I got to leave once on Sunday. I asked my neighbor to watch the table real quick while I ran around to say hi to everybody. And I felt a little bad about when I ran through the big ballroom, was like trying to, you know, say, hey, sorry I haven't seen your table. Haven't gotten to get up the whole weekend, essentially. But it was a really great show. It was the best show yet that we've had, but we've been pretty lucky in the fact that kind of each year, each show's gotten a little bit better for us. I was a little nervous about this being a new show to me as well, of not having like those already kind of built-in customers who are coming back to see you. There were quite a lot of the people that go to the San Francisco show as well. So I had a great time, as I always do. I stayed up way too late every single night, because that's what happens after the show's done. You hang out with all your pen friends, and I love getting to do that and getting to meet people. So it was great, and I was tired for like an entire week after. So I need to remember for the next shows that like we do that are coming up this year, is like we need to like have a whole week where we can just recover. Because I'll be honest, yeah, very, very difficult week after I came back and trying to, between the time zone change. Do you want to talk?
No, just say bye.
John says bye.
You didn't?
I didn't what?
You say bye, Johnny. Golly.
I wasn't reading the chat. Okay, I was talking. Anyways. Now you've done derailed me, and I don't know where I was.
Talking about a week of recovery.
Oh, time change too was, obviously it's a 3-hour time difference, so that kind of, was glad you made friends at your show. Always fun to walk around and meet the other vendors. Yes, and that's one of both of our favorite parts of going to shows is like spending some time walking around, talking to other vendors, introducing ourselves to people, and yeah, just seeing other types of vendors as well. I had a great time this year, being that I had a stationery lady, an artist next to me. Her company was called Cayenne Paper Co. Pretty sure she was fantastic. I loved having her next to me. So she sold like her art on pins and stickers and cards and stuff like that. And then on the other side, I had a vintage seller the first 2 days I didn't catch his name because I don't think he barely looked up from what he was doing the whole time, because he just had a constant stream of people having him fix vintage pins like the whole time behind his table. It was his little set of stuff. So, and then the last day there was another vintage pin guy who was kind enough to let me to tell me about the pins, because I'm one of those people. John knows some stuff about vintage pins from him going and talking to the vintage vendors, but I don't know anything about any of it, so I got to hold some really cool pins. Hey Michael, I am talking about the California Pin Show real quick before John gets turning.
Michael, what's up, man?
It was like 3 weeks ago now that I got back, and John was like, "It's only been a week and a half." I'm like,
man,
no,
I time traveled.
But yeah.
Sorry.
We're mid everybody's birthdays right now in our family, so we've got our
birthday, fire,
yeah,
research and development,
it's busy,
handbook generation,
fountain pens, diamond painting pens,
man.
all the things,
lots of stuff.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been exciting and exhausting. But our older daughter turns 13 on Saturday, so that's kind of freaking me out a little bit. That we'll have a teenager. And I asked the question to both. Maybe one of you will know. Label casting blanks. I want to do it, but you need a specific paper to wrap the tubes. Oh, do you need a specific paper? Can you use regular printer paper? I would guess that you can't probably use regular printer paper, because if you would get it wet, I'm fairly certain it would make the colors bleed. Now, I don't know what kind of paper. I feel like a plasticky one, like a plasticky type of label, maybe. I don't know. We've never done any label casting ourselves, so unfortunately, mine's very much just guessing. Versus
Brian
like
does the demo, or he did a demo last year at the Mate.
Who else says about the label casting?
So TBC bushings, Michael, yeah, he'll know a little bit more about that if he happens to stop in while you're here.
I've never done a tube in blank before. I think we have a mold for it. It just hasn't. We have about a million things that we're trying and doing all the time. Yeah, those are so cool. These are not by us. These are from Blank Works that John purchased at the Mate
last year,
not this year. And these are abalone tube in blanks, and they're super, super cool looking. So I think they're for a specific kit, but also obviously you can magic.
We do actually have a mold for tube in.
I just haven't used it. We bought our molds from Woodcraft, I think, but they have them online. Like Amazon has them. That's a easier type of mold to find than what the vertical pin blank molds are actually. More people carry those because I think a lot more people do kit pin making with tube in blanks, obviously, than something like what we do, but I have no idea where it is. It was in the bag for a long time, but it's got stoppers that you can like make it to whatever length in the.
It's got tapered stoppers
to go inside the
so
tube.
it makes it so you can use a variety of different tubes.
Yeah, the abalone is incredibly beautiful. I also would like a
Nothing wrong with pin kits. Nothing wrong with them.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm saying that tube in is typically done on kit pins versus like what we do for the bespoke pin. Now that doesn't go for everything, obviously, but
I don't want to share too many people's secrets.
No, I'm not going to say anything about anybody in particular, but
there are some people that modify those to make them like a kitless enhancement,
which is what I'd like John to do with one of those for me. I can have an abalone pin. But yeah, no, I mean, we started with kit pins too, and plenty of people do fantastic with doing their own style on kit pins. But I'm just talking about the tube in blank because the tubes are what you get with different kits and like the specific sizes. So that one was for, was it a gentleman junior or something? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Junior gent was specifically what those tube sizes were for. That's all. That's what I was saying. But yeah, just $80 on kit. It adds up fast, doesn't it? I've done that where we like when we do buy kits for like presents and stuff like that for teacher presents that will have a floor in there somewhere. We will go through PSI a lot of the time to buy kits, and I love getting their little sets that they come out with where they have like one of each of the colors that they offer plus the bushings. But yeah, I turned a couple kit pins myself at the beginning when John was learning, and I hated it. Hated it so much. Having things chip out and break and like whirlwind, and no, I don't have the right personality for that, I guess. Freaks me out too much. I'll sand it all day, which is what I do 90% of the time. You find your bucket?
I found the bucket I was looking for.
Ooh, that's the even prettier one.
Well, this is the one that I made sleeves for already.
So that's what you're going with it?
No.
Oh,
I just.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so here's another. You've only bought two. These were pretty expensive, weren't they?
Yeah, they're hard to make.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so here's like a blue-green one. The other one was like a white kind of curly one. But super cool. I wonder if they used Alumilite as well, as far as like UV.
Probably.
But
hey, Lawrence, how you doing?
13 kit green bushing. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, we've done that a few times. Some pieces worked well. I don't have the imagination that you need to be able to kind of do some of the molds correctly, if that makes sense. Because you have to think.
You gotta build the negative.
Yeah, you gotta think in the inverse of what you're trying to do, sort of. And I don't know CAD, so I can't do it on a printer. And then like it. Anyways, we've done several molds. Silicone itself is pretty easy to work with. I think it's by volume, not by weight, but it depends on which one you purchase. But yeah, haven't had huge success with making our own molds, but I'll always willing to try again.
I've had huge success.
Yeah.
But I do different things.
Yes. We tried a variety of things. Most of them did not work correctly. Some of them did, but still not exactly what it's a lot of the time for us. It's like not what we expected out of it, kind of thing. Hi, Lauren. Been watching a bunch of videos from Jake Thompson and Zach Higgins. Yeah, they do a lot of blank casting stuff. And Zach Higgins sells all of his molds now, doesn't he? Or was it Jake? I remember finding them back when we started about 6 years ago, and they had some videos up, but not very many. Like at the time, nobody was sharing how they cast vertical pin blanks. I know they do now, but back when I started,
Back in my day,
the only person who had a video up was David from Fig Boot in collaboration with Jonathan Brooks, and that was the only video that I could find at all about casting vertical pin blanks. So shipping unfortunately kills me from Turner's Warehouse. Yeah,
gotta find a courier.
I did actually get to meet Chad from Turner's Warehouse in Southern California, which it didn't connect at the moment when I ran past his table because he was there as his own pin brand, which I'm so sorry, but I cannot remember what it was. I literally ran past, said hi, like, oh, we've talked all kinds on the internet, you know, with him and his team. And super nice, all of them. They're from Arizona. But yeah, we're lucky being where we are that shipping's not too bad from really any of them because they're all here in the US. So yeah, I am gonna get inside and get some more work done and let John get to turning. Oh look, doing fine again.
Nice.
There's all kinds of things you can do with the lathe. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
What
kind are you gonna go for? Well, I'll talk when she leaves.
Okay.
All right, Michael.
See you guys later.
All right. Thanks. See ya. All right. Oh, yes. All right. But yeah, so there's so many cool things that you can do with the lathe. Really, your imagination is kind of your own limitation. And something that I do a lot is I keep little. I have a notebook that I just jot down different ideas. I've pretty much had one for each year. That I'll just kind of draw in something or write different notes or how I want the connections to be when making different pins and stuff like that. So I've got, well, it's very simple, but it's another one that I'm working on that I'm pretty happy about. I think I'll probably share that one when I finalize how I'm going to actually do it. I am at a point where finishing is my last step of figuring out that part. But other than that, it's pretty simple, straightforward. Once you understand like different aspects of it, once you understand those things, then you can kind of move from there. And then another thing I do is I start working on something, and then I'll put it to the side for a while, and then you know, as I learn more, I'll eventually be able to come back to where that particular project was, and then be able to implement some of the new ideas that I've either found or got inspired by or whatever it is, and that makes it so I can continue that particular project. So it's a lot of fun. But what kind of lathe are you thinking about getting? It is kind of an expensive setup when you first get started. Like my whole setup, I guess I can turn as well. We're doing Bridgerton blanks here. So it's got a bit of a purpley here, and then it goes to like a kind of a mint green, and then it's got a translucent, transparent, depending on how shallow we get it. Yeah, that's what it is. But yes. Let's see. I think my initial setup was about $1,500. But I probably could knock off like 250 to 400 or so, maybe even more, because there are like now Turncrafter has a pretty good setup as far as like a starter kit setup kind of thing, where it comes with the lathe, comes with kit, tools, and then some basic finishing stuff. So you can definitely start there, but I would consider, like, personally, I want to look at the I want to feel good about looking at my lathe. Like when I look at it, I want to be like, yeah, that's a good looking lathe. Because well, for me, I stand here for a long time looking at it. But yeah, last week was a bunch of wood, man. So I was getting some use out of my roughing gouge. You can see it's not even right. Uh-oh. I think that camera's frozen. That's awkward. Just a moment. Studio mode. I was wondering why it wasn't showing up. Makes more sense now. Wake up, you. Oh, there we go. No studio mode. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. There we go. I think this camera's frozen. All right. Working on Bridgerton blank. Talk about lathe stuff. Yes. Yeah. Been pretty busy. Pretty busy. I had my daughter, who is 11 now. I had her out here running the metal lathe, actually, which is pretty cool. It's basic operation stuff. So if I could get my 10-year-old daughter to do some stuff, I could probably be able to share how to do some of the other things as well. There we go. Had to reboot. I thought I was going to have to as well. Good thing I didn't, though. Would have been a bummer. So there's just a lot of, so many things that you can do with the lathe. I have so many more ideas that I actually implement. So, you know, just one of the reasons why I kind of like to talk about them, to kind of capture the different ideas and stuff. Let's see. But Marianne, so the handbook that I was talking about before will be. I was thinking about putting it on like a Google Drive. That way, it could be kind of updated up and then built upon while moving. Because even though I have ways of doing things, I sometimes change them very slightly. For different sequences of things. So it would be a way for me to constantly be able to keep that information, I guess, fresh. So I'm going to figure out, probably just do it in like in a Google Drive where people can view it, print it off or whatever. But not editable. Well, I was wanting to have it out already, so I guess the best answer would be in the near future. I don't have a set date at the moment. But it kind of depends on whether people want it completely done or they're okay with it kind of being built upon as we go. Because I have the first 2 weeks ready to go, but the other 2 weeks, they're not quite ready yet. And so that's kind of the predicament I'm in right now. I don't know if I want to just release a partial at the moment or what. But, and then I was thinking whether it should be like a video format or should I have pictures and then just talk through whatever it is. And then I'm not sure what kind of software people are most familiar with. Like whether it's Discord or, I mean, obviously I'm streaming on YouTube. You're here at YouTube, so probably a way to have it. I would just have them linked, I guess. But yeah, some of the software stuff is kind of what's taking me a long time because I'm not very savvy on the software aspect of it. Information is not the biggest problem I'm running into. It's the software making it how I would like for it to be. But really, it's just kind of a 30-day kind of kickstart sort of thing. Like all the topics are set. But there's always that part of me that personally I feel like I have to know every in and out of everything that I talk about before I start talking about it, which obviously makes things take a lot longer, because I'm not a very fast learner. But that's not your problem. I think one of the other problems for me, right, is I want it to be right the first time, not a work in progress. That is one of my other blocks that I've got. But, you know, as long as I guess that is understood, then it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, it won't change drastically, just like some fine-tuning stuff that just probably won't even be noticed, but it will be on the school software. And then I was thinking about doing it like shorts. And it'll probably be relatively free-ish. Because the intent is to get people started. So, like, if I took the screen inside, I could pull it up on the computer and then talk to you about it right now and show you. Actually, I'll show you a little bit right quick. Give me a sec. I'll go grab it. I've got a printout that I'm filling in. Little teaser, I guess. So let's see. Okay. So basically, this is like my starting point template that I use. But it won't be. This isn't the handbook. The handbook will look. It is different. It's more, I guess, like handbook looking. This is more like a outline skeleton shell kind of thing. But like, so the week one, working with the foundations. Welcome to the shop. Introduce yourself, define goals, observe without pressure, and then I just kind of expand. And the ultimate goal is to like not just teach you how to turn, but kind of get you in like a different kind of mindset of where to be when you're a part of the community or the group, at least the community that I would like built. So just kind of giving like an orientation of that. And then I've already got the bare minimum set up for, and this is going to be all around basic kit pin making or just pin making in general. So everything that this is going to be is all going to, well, my emphasis obviously is pins. So it's going to entirely be around pins. And so it's not until, so welcome to the shop, that's kind of the orientation. The bare minimum setup is like the tools. And then the lathe fundamentals, this is basically day 3 is where you actually start getting into the practical aspect of it, because a lot of times you kind of overlook some of the logistics of it. You're like, just get your tool and get in there and start turning. Like, that's not very helpful. And so I'm trying to be like thorough enough, but not too crazy. So like day 3, the lathe fundamentals is you're checking the stability of the material you're turning, right? So there's a lot of things that go into checking the stability, as far as like when you grab it with the jaws, is it like crushing into it? Because there's some wood that's really soft, there's some wood that's really hard. It'll kind of crunch it potentially, especially if you have holes. And then you're adjust the different speeds, and then the comfort part is kind of where I'm what I have thought about most actually is, what height do you want the tool rest to be? So it's all going to be, I'm trying to capture those things in an efficient way. And then the different tool types, drilling, work holding. So the drilling and work holding kind of goes along with some of the other stuff. And then the materials, the different types of materials that I've worked with. And then some of also the historical, not historical, right? But there are some materials that are vintage materials that are like cellulose acetates that, let's see, I've got some here somewhere that they used to use for pin making. One of the drawbacks of those is like the heat aspect of it. So getting all that stuff organized, and then at the end of the week, or at the last day of the week, there will always be a reflection, just to kind of recap what has been done so far. And then, like I said, the actual day stuff, or day 2 day stuff. So week 2 is the control and technique. So tool control, speed awareness, reading the cut, tool angles, correcting tear out, working on clean cuts. Week 3, the shaping and design. So again, kind of going back to the, like, I don't just want to teach you how to make a pin. I want to teach you how to design pins and things to keep in mind when you're doing them. And then like different aspects of it that, that I consider when I'm doing them in the first place. Like the different transitions, because some of these transitions are going to be harder to sand, right? So those, I try to think about the end user, think about getting from one step to the next. There's a lot of things that go through, and this is one of the ways that I'm trying to articulate that. Like diameter and comfort, symmetry. So the diameter and comfort, like this is actually a diamond painting pin that we used to do. We called it the chrysalis, but ultimately it was for people that didn't have, they had arthritis and weren't able to effectively grab a hold of it. So I was thinking, like, maybe like a football shape. That way they're holding it back here, and then it makes it so you have as much finger contact on it, and you're able to use like the minimal amount of like squeezing force and you're more reliant on, the surface friction of your hand to kind of keep it in place and moving. So so repetition is something that I talk a lot about. The personal style, and then the reflection again. And then the next is the finishing and presentation. So again, this is not a completely comprehensive, but it should get you in the right direction to move towards it. So finishing the pin, obviously when you do finish a piece of wood and it's relatively smooth, then you'll probably want to hit it with some denatured alcohol to get some of the other wood fibers out. And it'll also, with the moisture, raise some of the fibers that you can, again, hit it with the light sand, clean it again, and then you can go with a like a finish shellac or friction polish or whatever you go for. And then I have 35 different types of finishes in my drawer down here, so I will probably only pick a few of those. And then, yeah, applying the finish, curing, all that stuff. And then being able to fix some issues that may happen. That's another thing that's pretty relevant, because a lot of people have problems with like the CA stuff, and that's one of the reasons why I think a lot of people don't like it. And and that's fine. You don't have to like using the CA, but to not be able to do the CA and say that you don't do it because you don't like it is a skill issue, in my opinion. It's not. I like it aesthetically. So you can hold like a CA wood pin, and then you hold a not CA pin. It just has a shellac or a beeswax or some other wood finish. But in my opinion, in my mind, you can like the way something looks, but when it comes to like someone talking about it as a maker point of view, you should be able to do both, and then decide that that's just not what you want to do, even though you can do it. So, I have thoughts about those things. But yeah, so the presentation, so the different hardware that you use, you want to make sure that everything looks good and fits properly, all that stuff. So some newer pin makers, when you see them, you can see that the hardware doesn't quite match where it's supposed to, or how it's supposed to, and that's actually a few pages back, before you even get to this point, where you should have noticed that. And then the reflection integration, and then review your entire process, and then moving forward, kind of our last hoorah, to continue, because if we can all start, if the community that I am building can have a starting point, then it's easier for me to teach based off of that, if that makes sense. Because if everybody has a similar starting point and a general understanding of those things, then it makes it easier to progress into more complicated techniques and things along those lines. So that's kind of where I'm at. Oh. Whew. Maybe I should say diamond pins, as to not confuse with writing pins. Yeah, I suppose. But the thing is spindle turning is what it is. Pretty much all of it, whether you're doing a kit or you're doing diamond painting pin, you're still drilling into this blank. I only drill about this far inside to this blank. A writing pin, you'll drill all the way through. So it's not like it's drastically different as far as the turning portion of it. The shape will be different. Your limitations will be different. But all those things will kind of be captured in that. So it might not even take a whole 30 days to get through it. I just wanted something to kind of set it up. And so that just kind of seemed like the right way to go about it. But yeah. So that will be in a handbook format, along with a little bit of, I guess, my philosophy, a little bit about me, and then kind of the direction that I personally intend on going, as well as I would like to get fellow pin makers and turners towards their goals as well. Because I think that's one of the things that's probably like lost in all of these courses that I've seen online, is that, you know, getting somebody the information is one thing. Being able to appreciate their success is probably a different thing. So it's kind of hard to convey that, I think. But yeah. Anyway, that was ultimately just to let you know that there is an existing thing, and it's not something I'm just talking about. But it shouldn't be too long before I start. I think I can probably make each day about a 5-minute video or so. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. But populating it with, like, I guess that's kind of where I'm stuck. What do I populate it with? So I have to find different clips. I have to set up different things in order to do each portion. Like all the materials, I'll have to gather all the materials to kind of have them laid out and talk about all of the different ones and all the different tools that I've got. You know, kind of lay them out and talk about them all. I just got to do it, you know? I guess that's the end of the day. You just got to do it. But yeah. Anyway, that was kind of the gist of it. And I write really small on there. So transcribing it has been fun. But the other part about it too is I want to keep it to where, like, the application will be for anything that's pin related. It won't be exclusively diamond painting pins. It won't be exclusively writing pins or things along those lines. It'll be kind of a little bit more broad, but ultimately applicable pretty much everywhere. But what is it that you're having trouble with, Marianne?